You ready for this, motherfucker?
Ready? Dinner in Hell Band!
Oh, shit!
Oh!
No nonsense band.
No nonsense whatsoever.
No nonsense audience.
Just right. Audience is incredible.
The audience, I would have to say, is high nonsense. They do a lot of nonsense out
I'm
there.
witnessing a lot of shenanigans. There's a beach ball.
Yeah, like, what is this? You do this at home?
Yeah, and high nonsense, but a lot of love in the room.
Band, no nonsense.
Welcome back for another exciting edition of the Dinner in Hell podcast, a show where two amateur historians talk about the atrocious underbelly of history. I am one of your co-hosts, Brad the Impaler, and with me, as always, Ron Manring.
That's right. Thank you for having me. Love being here. Just kidding. I'm not Australian. I was just messing with you. Hell yeah. We had a hell of a time on the Christmas episode.
Yeah. We hope everybody enjoyed that one.
Oh my God. So much work went into that freaking episode.
Mm-hmm. The endless meetings.
Tireless hours. Skype meeting after Skype meeting. Whew.
Big thanks to the AV staff.
I'm glad that the freaking... Never mind. Well, frickin' today, this episode, we are going to continue our body modification series.
Another installment. We are going to Volume 3 in the Body Mod series.
What are we going to be talking about exactly?
Today, well, I guess we'll call it the third volume stretch. Because today we're going to be talking about lip discs and neck stretching.
So much stretching, you guys.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of stretching going on in this episode.
You know what? You might want to frickin' next time you do yoga, this might be a good episode to do yoga too.
Yeah, get you nice and limber.
We want to say hello to our new listeners that were brought here by our hashtag yoga jams.
Hashtag yogatainment.
Yogatainment, yeah. Hashtag.
Yeah, listen to this, relax, cleanse those chakras. Yeah, I mean, yeah, stretch it out. It'll be all good.
All right, let's punch some holes and stretch them out. No, I'm just kidding. We're talking about stretching necks. You've seen pictures of like tribal women with like ring up top of ring, like making their neck look super long. You've seen pictures of like, say like African tribal people with their lips stretched out with a disc, like the lower lip. Mm-hmm. That's what we're talking about, you guys.
Sometimes called a lip dish.
Sometimes called a lip saucer.
This one also, I can offer some personal experience to this episode, as you know, we were able to some for the other body modification episode.
Lip coaster.
Lip plug.
Okay.
Yeah.
Acceptable.
And I know that because I had plugs in a hole in my flesh. Mine just happened to be in my ears. But I am familiar with the process of stretching, so I'm going to consider myself an expert on this one.
We covered your pierced ears in our piercing body modification volume 2. Mm-hmm. That's right.
I think the same information is going to apply here.
If you want to find out more about Brad's former pierced ears, just send us a quick message, write it down on a $5 bill, mail it to us at our website.
And a Harvard Square.
And we will friggin' respond.
Maybe. Well, first, let's get into the lip discs, shall we?
Please.
So, this would be a lip piercing, as you may have guessed, into which increasingly wide discs would be inserted until the hole is stretched out.
Right, so they just keep upping the size on it, the diameter.
Yes, and it heals, and then you break it open again to stretch it out once it's ready to take more, and you let it heal again. Then you pop it open once more, stretch her out, let her heal again. For, I mean, like forever, maybe in some of these cases. It gets real big, you'll see down the line. Another very interesting thing about this particular practice of body modification, Ron, is that this developed independently. Like, it wasn't like one of these influenced the other. This developed no less than 6 times throughout history and around the world.
Cultures had never met?
Yeah, never met. So, like, you if you want to go back real far, there's evidence of this being practiced in modern-day Sudan and Ethiopia around 8700 BCE.
I'm trying to think of, like, who was president of America. I can't even think. It's way too far back for me to even come up with it.
Yeah, I definitely don't know the presidents back then.
I can't think of any president before, like, Washington.
Like President Mastodon,
like
maybe.
President Fire Holder.
Yeah.
He who holdeth fire. I know from him on.
Yeah, it probably predates him. Yeah, so this shows up there, more than 10,000 years ago. We're talking. This is an ancient fucking history. Another place that this popped up is in Mesoamerica around 1500 BCE. So we're talking about, Inca, Maya, around there.
Oh my God. We need to cover that region more.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting shit in there. It's under discussed for sure.
Coastal Ecuador.
Yeah.
Also.
That's the most recent development of this tradition of body modification, and for that we're talking about 500 BC.
Oh, just not too long ago.
Yeah, just 2,500 years ago.
Okay.
In fact, this tradition, more than 10,000 years old in totality, is still being practiced in the world today.
Where?
This tradition is still carried on by some groups in both Africa and Amazonia. Still stretching out lips.
Jesus, why you gotta be so perverted?
It's not perverted. Oh, I guess it is perverted. Whoops. I legitimately did not get that. Pun not intended. What was I talking about?
The location, Africa and Amazonia.
Oh, yeah. They are still doing it there, as well as I've seen people do it, just not, to that extent, but I've seen a whole bunch of stretched out lip piercings. And people are still doing it. Like, I bet you go to BME, the body modification e-zine, which I do not recommend to any of our more squeamish listeners. People are still stretching out their lips. Now, some tribes in Tanzania, they used to wear the plate in their upper lips.
What?
Yeah, that seems like it would hurt way more. And what do you do? Like, where's your mustache go? How does that would hurt like fuck? Or maybe it was just the women in this case. It was probably just the women.
There'd probably be like a bully one that would constantly smack you in your from the top down, like, shut up, stupid ass.
Oh,
like the bully tribe member smack down on your top lip disc.
That would be some bullshit, man. That would, that would do well.
Did you say they would do both lips?
Yes.
What country?
Some tribes in Tanzania. For some unlucky Sara and Lobi people, the people you're talking about that get it in both lips, they're from around modern day Chad. Both lips. Man, I hope they didn't have to keep them in all the time. I don't even know.
Clap. Like,
yeah,
they could do the.
It seems like that would complicate an awful, unless it was enough. Like, if they kept them small enough, you could still have normal mouth operation.
Like,
you know what I mean?
They're like, what? Guess what impression I'm doing? They're like, Donald Duck. They're like, no. Why do you think that? No, I'm not doing Donald Duck. Both lips.
If it doesn't generally turn out the way that I'm suspecting it does, if we're talking like inches across discs in both lips, I'm gonna go out a limb, say the Lobe people and the Star people, not big soup people.
Oh man, and you know what? I don't think they are.
I'd take a bet that there's not a big like soup culture.
Yeah, I think I remember a story about this man that packed everything up and went to Chad and set up a soup place and ended up moving right back. Moved right back, lost everything.
Yeah.
Said F Chad. This is the most we've talked about Chad since we've started the program.
Yeah, and all it does is remind me that I'm an asshole because I don't know anything about Chad.
Chad, I grew up with Chad. Chad was pretty cool. Chad was a pretty cool dude. He's chill.
He was a popped collar guy, though.
Do you think it's probably called Chad? We're probably like total idiots and calling it Chad.
I have to just admit it that I am.
I don't know. It's probably called Chad.
Yeah, I
it
mean,
can't be called Chad.
I don't know nothing about Africa, generally speaking, but I do not know enough. I gotta learn. I'm just a bad person.
We're gonna call it Chad from now on.
All right, we'll take a guess and move over to Chad. I don't know what language they speak there. I don't know how they would pronounce that.
Some older historical sources on the subject say that the size of the disc is indicative of wealth or social status.
Yeah, that is definitely the case you'll get from older anthropologists and historians who, talk about this sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not true, though. Modern anthropologists have sort of a much different story for most of the cases, generally speaking, why this modification is undertaken.
So, like the discoveries in 8700 BCE, are they discrediting those?
No, those are just that they happened. But what modern anthropologists say is what the other ones were misinterpreting is that they were just witnessing different stages of stretching.
Yeah.
That and the fact that this process, I mean, it seems odd to say because of the type of program we run here, but it wasn't that terrible, honestly. Even amongst the tribes that practice it now, it seems like it's something that a woman can do. It doesn't seem like it's something that a woman or a person's forced to undergo.
Oh, it's a choice?
Yeah. It seems like nobody was made to do this.
Okay.
I mean, I think
so over. Okay, next topic. We're going for the mean shit humans did, Brad. You understand?
I mean, at least
concept.
At least now that's the case. In the past, it was much more of an initiation ritual or coming of age sort of ceremony.
I wish you wouldn't have said that. This whole time I've been fantasizing that they're doing this against their will.
No, for some of them in the past, it certainly was because they would get it before they were married, no matter what. So when I'm saying that, I'm talking about basically now. I'm talking about now they don't do it like that, or for the last decades. Decades since they were forcing anybody to do it. Africa's modern. I do know that. Like most of Africa, they got cell phones and shit. It's not like back in time, like some people seem to think.
There's undeveloped Africa.
Yeah, there is.
Lots.
Oh, yeah.
Major. But yeah, there's major cities. It's crazy. Yeah, it's totally normal. Yeah.
No,
Do I have to say it? I've been there.
Yeah, he's been to Africa.
I've been to a few major cities.
I wasn't saying that to you. I was speaking maybe to our listeners.
I didn't know if you knew that. I know you knew. Yeah. I know you know my history in the Iberian Peninsula.
I know it on the Cape too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm aware of it.
Down there by the Indian Ocean. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Did I tell you I flew on a prop plane? I got on it on the runway. That's a real fun thing. Okay.
I had to do that on a flight from DC to was it
Panama?
Baltimore, maybe?
Baltimore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just like you like walk out.
Follow me.
You get in like a little bus and it just drives you like to like the hangar and you just get on it. I was like, this is weird.
Go up those steps.
Yeah.
So back to Ethiopia, the Omo River Valley, the Surma and Mercy people.
Mm-hmm.
You said something about their age when they got it done. They would start at like between 15 and 18.
Yeah, this process would generally begin around 15 to 18 because it would be done about 6 months or a year before their wedding.
Yeah, so how old are you exactly? 15 years, 5 months, 6 months. What'd you say it was? 5 months before
like
their wedding?
6 months to a year before their wedding is when the incision would be done to create the lip piercing to later house a plate.
And like if you're listening at home and you're thinking, was it a man or was it a woman? Was it a special person that did it? It was usually a female relative.
Yeah, generally, it's somebody that would have been close to you and your family, another woman that would have, done it because it was, a special ceremony and it's a ritual.
For this culture, when they did it, they would do the lower lip.
Yes. They would generally start with a 1/2 inch or inch long incision. So it's not, I guess it's not so much like a piercing like you would do with a needle. You just cut through the lip.
Oh, it's like a slice.
Yeah, it's a slice.
They probably poke through with a big, sharp bone or what. We have sharp bone in village. Like they don't have
a knife of some sort.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't like smelting metals back in...
Yeah, maybe with
BCE.
flint. Yeah. With like
Probably
a flint knife.
Probably using saber-tooth tiger tooth, like fang, back then.
Ooh, I don't know enough about saber-tooth tigers to refute this.
I'm gonna freaking Photoshop lip disc person running away from a saber-tooth tiger, like, run for your life! Ah, the lips are like flapping. Run! Do like a
I
major...
don't know when saber-tooth tigers were alive.
And then I'll have like a major city in the background. I'm going to have our freaking people put that together. I visualize it. They create it.
Mm-hmm. I know saber-tooth tigers always seem dope to me, though. Like, they were a really cool animal.
Like, how would that bite even work?
I don't know, but it looks like it would really be really badass to see.
With the teeth, like, like, how could you even...
I think maybe its mouth just opened super wide or something.
It'd be great for, like, climbing trees. You could, like, hang from your teeth.
You could just... Turn your head side to side to climb it.
Sure.
So once this incision was made, this 1/2 inch or inch long incision, in order to get the jewelry aspect of it popping, a simple wooden peg would go in there. So wooden peg to hold the wound open in that place while it healed shut around it.
Yeah, scarred up.
Yep. So after about 3 weeks, that's when the initial wound's going to be healed and a larger peg will be inserted into the hole.
Now we're talking freaking atrocious history underbelly.
Yeah.
History's atrocious underbelly.
This process hurts a ton. You can hear it sometimes, the popping, when you're putting a bigger size in.
Can you imagine? It's scarred tissue. It's not like regular original skin. It's like healed, tough, scarred tissue.
Yeah, like my ears look closed up, and if I really tug on them, they'll open up a little bit. They don't at all look like I used to have my big, like 5/8 of an inch plugs in there. But they, like, if I tried to wear like a stud earring, it would fall out. It wouldn't stay in. The hole's too big for like the back of a stud earring.
Okay.
Yeah. So this business continues to a diameter of about 1.5 inches, which is way bigger than my plugs in my ears were. This is big. This is a big hole in your flesh, ladies and gentlemen. And after that, the peg graduates to discs. That's when we go to lip discs or dishes for the first time, is around 1.5 inches. These discs generally made from clay by hand by the woman who will wear them.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's an important thing for, like, I imagine it would be like some women, I can imagine like a culture where you sew your own wedding dress. And it's like an opportunity in terms of mating to show your value, because she'll take a ton of pride in how it's decorated and like how the quality with which it is made.
The groom like comes up and inspects her. He's like, let me look at your freaking dress. Let me look you over once over. Check the quality of this seam.
I think a lot of tribal societies don't treat women that badly.
What was bad about it? I just want to look over my bride before I say I do, all right? What's bad about that? I want to look her over, a once over.
I don't like your
front
tone.
of her family. Because I'm frowning as I speak.
Yeah.
Wasn't there one woman that was like record holder for frickin' lip disc diameter?
Hell yeah, dude. And now the final diameter of these bad boys, once they're in there, and this is extremely impressive, is around 3 to 4 inches across.
That's like common.
Yeah, that's like what they usually are. Now, the record, the largest one ever seen, was in Ethiopia. We're talking 8 inches across.
That's like bigger than a 45 record.
Yeah.
That you play on a record player.
Yes.
Children. I remember her back when this is when she was like 13. She won the 13, 16-year-old category at the Ethiopian State Fair, and she had a 4.5-inch starter disc. She was starting with 4.5. All right? That's
Impressive.
how you knew she was going to be one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, I mean,
13,
they may well have been putting
13.
her druzy in the rafter.
There was
right
no 13-year-olds had a 4.5-inch diameter. That's unheard of.
No, and her unmeasurables, great.
So that, like you said, they have a choice.
Yeah, it's something that can be chosen or rejected by individual Surma and Mursi women. Now, they claim the disc correlates to the number of cattle paid as a bride price, but most anthropologists, including one that has studied the Mursi for over 30 years, reject that assertion. It's much more often discussed as an option for women for self-empowerment through adornment and as a demonstration of female strength.
Like, holy shit, don't even look that woman with the 4.5-inch disc in the eye.
Like, she's powerful.
She will freaking annihilate you.
Yeah.
Look what she did to her lip. She likes that.
Yeah.
Look what she'll do to your face.
Yeah, so in the past, maybe I bet you there's a lot of people who didn't want to do this that were forced to, but now it seems to be a source for female empowerment, which I believe, which I endorse.
You think women today should, like American women, should maybe consider doing a lip disc?
If they want to.
Friggin', when we began the lip disc conversation, we brought up Mesoamerica, South American continent.
Indubitably.
Down in that region, they did the lip disc, but it would be the men.
Yeah. This is another area, too, where it also is continuing. But yeah, where the tables are flipped here. And in South America, when lip discs are concerned, it's generally the men who wear them. Yeah, for South American men, it's associated with like oratory, like giving speeches, like if you're a leader, like a war chief, for example.
The tribe's like, I wish he would do his speeches without this stupid disc. I can't understand his when he says a P word. I'm like, what is he saying?
Yeah, that would be tough. That'd be tough.
We should get lip discs. And like every show, we'll get a bigger diameter. You hear it on the air. We'll be screaming. And then we'll just do like a P word contest and see who can make the funniest sentence.
Oh, yeah. Now that you mention it, right after I got, I wanted to save this for after I got sort of soft about lip discs again. When you get lip discs, in order to prevent damage, the front 2 or all 4 of your front teeth are generally removed. So the bully, it would just be like, but your teeth are already gone. So that's the fucked up part.
They pull them out or bash them out?
I assume they pull them out.
With what?
I don't know, or pry them out.
Humans. Why are you doing this?
Well, I mean, what
crazy stuff. Thanks. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have a show. Now, would we?
Yeah, but I mean, having them pulled is probably then better than having them smashed.
Yeah, because leave the root in. No, thanks.
Yeah, that's why they pull them to prevent them getting smashed by the dish. And if you remember, the few unfortunate people who have this on both lips, there's probably 8 teeth out of their mouth. That sucks.
And that guy's going to do a speech. Okay, now listen up.
Yeah.
I'm talking to the tribe here. Listen up. This is for tribe ears only. They're like, I wish he would have kept his teeth at least. Why is he afraid of getting bashed out?
For the South Americans, I don't think it was those. I'm talking about the African lip disc was with the teeth. But for the South American men, it was also associated with singing. Again, seems tough to do with a piece of jewelry stretching your lip out. Who am I to say? The lip discs are worn part-time, and they're generally only worn when entering a place only inhabited by men, when they're leaving the quote-unquote world of the women. Whatever that means.
That's called upstairs.
It's when you gotta have some bro time.
When you're in your basement, and, world of the women is upstairs.
I think that does seem to generally be the case. I'm fond of basements, though. I'm like a weird little troll. That's where I like hanging out. I feel much more comfortable surrounded by earth than I do like windows and stuff to see.
I like that time when I was over and I asked you about the black spray paint on your basement windows, and you were like, "Don't want to talk about it."
Don't make up lies about me. That is not spray paint. It is regular paint.
You don't want me to bring up
I painted it like an adult. I didn't spray paint it like a hoodlum.
Sorry for revealing personal details.
Other cultures that used lip discs in the Americas include the Haida, Tlingit, and Tsimshian peoples, native to the Pacific Northwest. Like, we're talking like Alaska Panhandle.
The Aleutians? Islands? Down in the Bering Strait there?
Yeah, probably we're talking about people living there. And people who could be described maybe as Inuit.
When I first heard that information doing the research, I pictured their teeth, the Alaskan breeze blowing off of that water, that snow, hitting their teeth being constantly freezing cold all the time. But then, like you say, you just take the teeth out.
Also, people who are living as tribes people in cold climates are never going to have access to sugar. No fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No berries?
There's probably some berries.
Cranberries or something.
Yeah, but not many. It's not like they're sitting around eating mangoes and shit.
Right.
So, like, maybe their teeth are all right. Comparatively speaking to, I mean, if you're living in, like, Brazil in a tribal society, I don't know what their teeth are like.
I mean, those people that live up there, them, like, Native Americans and, whatever, Russian people too, whatever, I'm sure Russians had their own Eskimos, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They just live off of, like, blubber.
Like fish.
Fish and blubber and shit. Like,
they might hunt birds.
Yeah. Like maybe some grass at the tundra. If you can find it. Lichen soup. Sorry. You know what? Let's get back. Let's get back on track here. The Alaskan Panhandle.
Oh, there, discs are worn by women when they reach social maturity. I mean, meaning their marriage age. Lip disc in their culture will symbolize their eligibility for marriage.
Hell yeah.
Now, probably the most fucked up thing about this happened in the 1930s when women were taken from the Congo and exhibited in circuses and slideshows. Not slideshows, sideshows. Prominent among the operations guilty of this behavior was good old Ringling Bros and Barnum and Bailey Circus.
I have a hard time believing what you're trying to tell me is a circus would put business before like the welfare of a living, breathing person or thing.
No, it's a shock, isn't it? I know,
Wow.
what was that? They have this musical.
Check it out.
They have this musical coming out, right? About fucking what's his name?
Barnum or Bailey
I can't remember.
or Ringling.
It's one of these assholes. But they're like making him out to be a hero. Like that dude was a piece of shit.
I taught if it wasn't for me, a bear would never have ridden a bike. God damn it.
It was the guy who said like a sucker's born every minute. He like despised people. He was like a real scumbag. I don't know. That's the soapbox minute on Dinner in Hell.
If it wasn't for me, elephants would never stand on 2 feet and paint a picture with a paintbrush in a trunk. I whipped them into doing that.
Yeah. Abusing animals for decades.
Allegedly.
Lionize a con man who despised the common person.
Allegedly. Gotta always say that. We learned that from Shakecast.
Yep, we learned that from Larry's solicitor. All right, so that's it. That's it for lip discs.
Lip disc is over. Let's move on. New subject.
Neck stretching.
Should we like play the band again? Play the band again. I'm just kidding. Dinner and Hell band. Wow. I'm just kidding.
Well, you may ask yourself, how's a neck getting stretched?
Oh, well, they take a person, they hang them by their head, like at the board with a hole in the middle. They put the two, and they just hang them by their head, and then they put weights on their feet, and it stretches their neck out over time, and their neck's long. Boom.
Maiden?
So, next topic.
Not boom, Maiden.
Next topic.
Well, the way this is actually done, although that would be weird and terrible, is by the wearing of rings.
Mm-hmm.
Heavy, like stiff, not like a necklace, jewelry around the neck. This is done by some women in both Asia and African cultures.
Dude, we are just all over Africa today. I want to say welcome to our new African listeners that found us from this episode. Hello.
What's up?
Thank you.
Now, we'll get back to Africa in a moment, but first, I would like to talk about the Padang people that are of the Kayan people in Myanmar. Now, Padang girls may begin to wear the rings as young as 2 years old. That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, we would generally come down on body mods as being okay, but 2, that kid can't make a decision about that. They don't have any idea what's going on.
Another thing is, I don't know if you're aware of this, but like babies are born without kneecaps. You know that?
Really?
And then they grow in and become kneecaps. Like, yeah. So like your baby freaking flips that leg around if you really had to. But yeah, it's really weird.
Oh, just thinking about that.
I think you know how their
skin crawl.
their head still has to like grow in.
Yeah, like the cranium's not attached.
Like 2 years old, their body's not total bone yet.
Yeah, look how tiny they are.
You're already gonna slap freaking little brass rings around a little kid's neck. God damn it! I'm already sick of neck stretching.
Yeah. So over time, I mean, as she gets old and goes to kindergarten, they may add more coils around. The thing about this, though, and the reason why your board strategy wouldn't work the same way this does, is because it's sort of a trick, because it doesn't stretch out their neck at all.
What are you talking about? That's what this show's called, neck stretching.
Yeah. That's what we decided to discuss before we researched it.
That happens sometimes.
Yep.
One time we did an impale. We did Brad the Impaler. We did an impalement episode, and we were like...
And the next week, what episode shall we do?
Let's do the Iron Maiden. Yeah, we're going to do the fucking Iron Maiden. Ron Maiden, Iron Maiden. This is going to be the greatest.
Yeah.
We're going to have a blast.
Yeah, we'll get both of our namesakes out of the way right away.
Friggin' BT texts me. He's like, I got bad news. Iron Maiden was like just a decoration to fuck with people.
Yeah, it was like put together from a bunch of different shit that didn't go together.
Oh.
Yeah, Iron Maiden, it's not a real thing.
One time when we did the Victims of the Wheel, one of them was like a myth.
Yeah, he was just like a folktale, maybe.
Like, what the hell? They're like, famous victim of the wheel. Like, what's his name? I forgot his name.
Gnippertanga.
Gnippertanga. And then we're like, okay, we're going to do it on Gnippertanga and the other guy, Peter Neers. And it turns out Gnippertanga was like a folklore. Like,
yeah,
what the
Peter,
fuck?
like based on Peter Neers.
Dinner and Hell credibility down a drain.
No. We were in the front about that. We were up front about that. We talked about how interesting it was, how the actual history is affected and it is transmitted by an oral history. Not the exact facts, but the spirit was the same.
So, if the neck itself isn't being stretched, what is the illusion that you're talking about?
Well, what happens is because the vertebrae don't change, it deforms part of the body, just not the neck. What it does is the weight of the rings pushes down the collarbones and even the upper ribs of the Padang woman who's wearing them.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes literally to a 45-degree angle. I mean, this gives the appearance of a longer neck, while actually it's like pushing down the rest of you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. I understand it.
So it looks longer, but the bones are exactly the same. And the only lengthening that may occur is because of the rings, because they always push them to the limit, so they're holding your head up.
Yeah.
Since your neck doesn't have to fucking do anything, it gets lazy and it lets liquid in between the cavities. But I mean, that's only a little tiny bit of actual lengthening, so I don't even count it.
Like in between vertebra?
Yeah. But it's not much. It's the cartilage just absorbs a little bit extra liquid because it ain't doing shit. It doesn't even have to support the weight of the head.
And that's supposed to be attractive. That's supposed to be amongst the Padang.
Yeah. Yeah, this is they're doing it to try to achieve a standard of beauty.
Look who's got this neck. Baby got neck. Sir Mix-a-Lot. Baby got neck. Oh my God, BT. Look at her neck. It's so long and
slender.
Slender. I like big necks and I cannot like.
Yeah.
Womp, womp, womp.
I remember that video coming on and just like it would be like I'd just like look over at my mom sitting next to me on the couch and be like, this is really weird.
Like remember the little plastic butt on the record when he's scratching it? It was like ridiculous.
Yeah, it was like
a donut.
Ludicrous.
It looked like a glazed donut.
They were standing on giant butts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the one skinny white model, like I think her butt was like right? Like it started to stretch out. Yeah. What the hell, Sir Mix-a-Lot? Seattle's finest. One of.
Yeah, so it only looks longer. This practice also carried on in several of the southern Underbelly peoples of South Africa.
Nice pronunciation.
This includes Swazi speaking, Zulu speaking, and Xhosa speaking
Nailed it.
Underbelly peoples.
Talking about amateur historian, professional linguist, Xhosa language.
I mean, though, to be fair, the permanent wearing of these rings among these people has by and large ceased. It's down to a few isolated groups that are still doing it.
Chad still sporting the neck. Oh no, that was the lip discs. My bad. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm a little drunk. Okay, I've been drinking since morning.
Yeah, this is quite a distance from there, actually.
Yeah.
Now, these rings, called dzila, they were worn by married women. And unlike what they speculated about the lip discs, these rings were indicative of the women who were wearing them social status. because it was the husband's responsibility to provide these rings to his wife, the more of them and the finer they are obviously indicates how wealthy and prosperous the family is.
They would wear them on their neck and their arms.
Yeah, they were worn in a variety of places for this purpose.
The woman's like, can I get him a couple arm rings? I ain't trying to like say the neck sucks or nothing, but it's like arms got a lot of space.
Puts his newspaper down. God damn it.
Woman, this is about tradition. She's like, I got 26 rings on my neck, okay? Look how long my arm is. Like,
we could get this arm another 2-3 feet longer, maybe.
Work with me here.
No, the arm rings didn't stretch.
I'm going north and living with my parents in Chad. Goodbye.
These neck rings function in a similar way to the Padang woman's neck coil, in that it deforms the collarbone and the breastbone and possibly ribs of the women who are wearing them. It's basically a permanent thing, too. Applying these rings is a permanent life decision.
Because once you take them off, the head's like freaking, the neck's like rubber.
Yeah, it has not been, it's like atrophied.
It has no muscular tone. It has no sense of supporting the weight of your melon head.
Yeah, exactly.
Your head's heavy.
And if you think about it, for a woman to make the decision to do this, she has to do it before she reaches puberty. So, I mean, when you're talking about these rings going on, we're talking 11 years old, somewhere around there.
Yeah, thanks for that detail.
Yeah, so those go on, and they're on there basically forever.
Yeah.
Before a girl reaches maturity, she'll likely have 11 pounds of metal on her neck at all times.
Before she reaches maturity, so you're talking like 14.
Yeah,
I was just
that's
joking.
what I'd guess.
That was a joke.
Around then, walking around with 11 pounds of metal on you until before that grows. That's never going to get less unless something terrible happens.
Yeah, they get married at like 15 in the lip disc community.
Yeah, that's probably similar among tribal communities. I mean, why? It's not like you get a lot of other shit to distract you. It's kind of it's all work.
You know how like once in a while we'll have a drop for a certain Dinner in Hell, like little nerdy little thing, like Dinner in Hell going deeper, like foreshadow drop,
Mm-hmm.
We need to come up with Dinner in Hell assumptions.
Yeah. Shit, there's way too many of those.
Hey, one tribe did it. I assume the other tribe did it.
Yeah,
I mean, tribe's tribe. I mean, Africa's Africa, right?
And that's why we keep that little amateur tag in there.
That's right. As long as it says amateur, we say where the fuck we want because we're amateur. We're not professional. We're not.
We're doing our best. That's all we ever promised you people.
I saw someone's podcast on Twitter, like their profile. I read it, and it said it was like history podcast by real historians with like degrees and shit. And I
feel personally attacked by
I'm like,
that.
what the hell? We're just fun historians. We're not trying to be jerks.
Yeah, we would never hurt anyone's feelings like that. Like I'm not a...
You're going to kill the mic. It's going to fry out. Yeah, calm down. You amateur. Now you're amateur broadcaster. You're letting them get the best of you. You guys step up your broadcasting level.
I could go on like an Alex Jones style rant right now.
No. I like this vibe right here is just perfect.
I can dig it.
Permanent life decision.
Oh, yeah, because once it's on there, it's done. I mean, the only reason these are removed is if the woman's husband dies before she does.
You better not die, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, and this removal process, if it's done incorrectly, can very easily result in death.
Because it'll suffocate the person?
Yes.
Like the head will flop over?
Yeah. I mean, you could incur either spinal cord damage from what you're describing, the head flopping over.
Do you think it could ever... I hate to put you on the spot. Do you think it could ever be fixed and be back to normal?
Yes, I did, or to recover to a degree where you can live, because I did read that the recovery process has to be very carefully managed.
Over how many years do you think?
Shit, dude, I don't know. Probably more like months. I bet it's months.
Like the gravity of your head will bring the vertebrae closer together, push out that liquid, form back, and then
it's really way more about the muscles regaining their strength. So like, you'll probably be on your back in like some sort of brace for almost all of the time, but like for every once in a while they take the brace off, and you know you're laying on your back and you move it a little bit, or you try to move it while you're in the brace to work out the muscles until you get your strength up. But it'll be a while before you're walking, and even when you are.
Walking? What do you mean? You can wear like a neck brace, like a what do you call it? Collar.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Even if when you're, I mean, you don't have to have, but if you have it off, I mean, you're on your back.
Yeah.
Because you got to try not to die from suffocation or breaking your neck, your spinal cord.
She's like, check it out. My neck's back to normal, baby, but check it out. I still got this 45-degree collarbone.
Yeah, awesome.
The illusion.
So into deformations. But so from then on, you either kind of got to have a towel around your neck or a brace. But it does say you can recover. So I'll assume you could kind of get back to normal one day.
So we've covered cranial deformation, tattoos, and piercings. Now we're at lip dis and neck stretching.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, without modern, we're talking like the old bone and hammer tattoo process. Which one would you choose if you had to have one done? Probably
the tattoo, definitely, because the tattoo is much less time-consuming modification. I stretched my ears out to 5/8 of an inch over like a fucking year or something like that.
Yeah.
Then I let him close, and then I did it again because I'm a fucking psychopath.
You know what Brad does?
But I also find a way to cheat at it.
This is what Brad does because he just hates himself. He'll pull into a Tim Hortons drive-thru in the morning when it's totally fucking jammed and out to the middle of the road.
Oh,
and not even buy anything. He just likes to sit in that line just to torture himself. And then when he gets up to the drive-thru, he just drives out. He just tortures himself, you guys.
Give a little wave, and then I get back in line.
My God. Freaking. This neck stretching.
Yeah, but I did want to offer some advice. I may have offered this in the other one, but you're going to get it again, too. If you ever want to stretch out your ears, it's the way to do it. Every day, you just put another layer of electrical tape around your jewelry and put it back in.
Every day?
Yeah. Then, because it's just like a slightly little tiny bit wider.
Yeah,
and then before you know it, you're ready for new jewelry, and it doesn't even feel like you stretched it out. You're welcome. That one's free.
It's about 0.073 of an inch, I think, without doing like the real specs on it. But it's pretty thin.
Pain, less pain than the usual way of stretching out your ears. I can tell you that much.
We hope that everyone enjoyed the episode before this one, which was our Christmas bloodbath episode.
Yeah, that was a real special time.
It sounded like freaking Dinner in Hell choir singing on that freaking 12 Days of Christmas song that they we had on the show.
Yeah, I might not be a great singer, but I bet I'm above average in terms of note accuracy for podcasters. Is that a bold claim? I mean, for singing parody songs, I think it was pretty good.
That was art. There was no parody.
Parody can be art.
Well, I didn't look at it as parody. To me is like comedy of something, like making a joke, kind of.
Comedy's art,
right? But to me, this was more dear. Okay, I'm not saying it's not art. It's just art that's dear to my heart.
All I'm saying, I think that's true for me too, but it is a textbook parody.
Agree to disagree.
Well, we hope everybody enjoyed that episode. We hope everybody enjoyed this episode.
We hope everybody enjoys all episodes to come. So that was neck stretching. That was lip discs.
Fun.
This is Dinner in Hell. After the theme music band ends, you will hear a handful of promos we did for that Christmas episode that we were talking about.
Yeah, so if you haven't caught it, we would recommend it. It's a special. It's like the Star Wars special. We're probably going to discontinue it one day, and you're going to be like, oh, I wish I could get my hands on a bootleg of that Dinner in Hell first Christmas special they did.
Holy shit. The first one was...
Did we do one before?
We did an episode on for Christmas, though. You want to hear what another thing that's funny about that Christmas bloodbath?
Mm-hmm.
In the very beginning, I go... Right in the very beginning, there's like sleigh bells going, and I go... Yeah, seems like we always do like to time our Christmas episode out with the holidays or something like that. Like, no shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, but we didn't do a full-on blown Christmas special the first time. We just had the sleigh bells, and then the regular song kicked in, and we just did a regular episode.
We're like, we don't celebrate Christmas, goddammit.
Yeah, but when this one is a full-on Christmas special, we're really proud of it.
Christian and proud on this one. I'm just kidding. No, yeah. Anyways.
This nice worship hymn on there.
So yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for being in front of us.
The audience looks incredible.
Band is killer.
Slamming.
Band is no nonsense as usual.
Y'all out there got any ideas for body mods? You want to hit us up? You want to tell us what the next installment in the series should be? You can do that on Twitter at Dinner in Hell Pod. You can email us dinnerandhellpodcast@gmail.com. We're on Facebook. That's a good place to converse with us. We're on Stitcher, fucking YouTube, iTunes. You can listen to us anywhere great podcasts are given to you for free. Please don't forget to rate and subscribe on iTunes. That would be dope. It helps us a lot. Wow. Thank you so much for listening.
Enjoy the jingles after the show's over. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thanks for sticking around. Enjoy the
promos.
Social media promos we made for episode 57, Christmas Bloodbath.
Christmas. What does Christmas mean to you?
It means bloodshed.
Fuck yes. And tune in to the Dinner in Hell Podcast Christmas special, the Christmas Bloodbath, this Christmas Eve.
People have died on Christmas, you guys.
And we're going to laugh about it.
You're going to laugh about it. I'm going to stay serious the whole time. So many people are going to be sitting in their living room on the floor wrapping presents come Christmas Eve.
Huddled around the radio.
Because maybe they're procrastinators. We're not judging you. But while you're wrapping your little gifts, what podcast are you going to listen to?
Dinner in Hell.
You're going to binge listen to it.
It's Christmas in Hell this time.
This Sunday, December 24th, 2017, you're going to get a brand new episode of Dinner in Hell titled Christmas Bloodbath. Oh my God, it's Christmas season, Brad the Impaler.
Yuletide spirit all up in this motherfucker.
We got 2 days left until our special Dinner in Hell Christmas Bloodbath episode drops.
Oh, and if I do say so myself, it's a real fun one. We got a song that our Dinner in Hell studio staff put together.
On the 4th day of Christmas, just all were left for me.
4 severed heads, 3 torsos, 2 human hearts, and some...
Be there, SoundCloud.
Christmas Eve, motherfucker. Tune in. Christmas Eve.
Oh yeah! December 24th, Christmas Eve 2017.
New Dinner in Hell Christmas special.
The title of the episode will be revealed in 1 second. Christmas Bloodbath. December 24th, 2017. Dinner and Hell's bringing you a Christmas special episode like you've never heard before. It's gonna have gunshots, explosions, murder. Oh, it's gonna have sleigh bells.
It's time for
Christmas bloodbath.